All right, everybody, welcome to Toonkind at 12 FPS. Today we will be playing an unlucky first meeting between me, Jade, playing Miles Murphy, the Realkind halfling, and with me today I have.
That is me. I am Fletch, and I'm playing Fleck, the Toonkind little Frankenelli rat.
God, I love Fletch so much. I love Fleck so much. I mean, I also love Fletch, but
Sometimes names get a bit funky, it's true.
it's fine. Anyways, so today in Toontown, it is a fine well, it's a fine morning to be honest. Completely normal, comparatively to most days in Toontown, and we find ourselves at a small, basically street corner. A bunch of children are gathered around, uh, ready to be picked up by the carriage that usually takes them to school, and slightly further away from most of the children is a new kid, uh, Miles, just slightly further away. He's rocking back and
Yep.
forth. He's happy.
And in the midst of the crowd, probably hanging around his sibling, is a little rat toon named Fleck, who's probably currently either listening to what Mariz has to say this morning or having a fun little chat himself until he notices said to not Toon, said halfling standing a little bit further away from the group, and he decides, you know what? That kid, he probably see he's probably a little bit nervous about all the people, you know? Fleck was nervous his first day too, so he's gonna go up and try and say hi. Probably uh gives Mariz, his sibling, a little wave and points at Miles before hopping off and approaching.
Okay, so this is gonna be the first this is gonna be the first roll because both of us need to roll dexterity saving throws upon you getting really close.
Oh boy. Okay.
1 second.
Thankfully, that's what I'm good at.
Oh, thankfully this is not what he's good at. That sure is a 4.
That sure is a 20.
So immediately coming out of like the set of like woods behind him, it's just a bit of like foliage and stuff like that that covers up most of the scenery. A bunch of clogs just start running down, and immediately Miles is picked up by a bunch of them alongside Fleck, and now they're heading downhill. And Miles immediately upon seeing a smaller Fleck is like, "Oh God, sorry. Uh, first time."
As you get
Fleck's
swept
busy screaming.
away by the logs, you hear the distant shout of "Hey, Fleck!"
Fleck yells back, I'll see you in class!
But yeah, no. Miles just says, "Sorry about that. This happens a lot," and he's rolling alongside, like in between the logs himself, like actually doing cartwheels. Horribly.
He has no style. He has no grace. This halfling has a funky curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Fleck is probably doing a little bit better. I mean, he has some experience with things suddenly coming at him at high speed, so he's managing to run on a log. Isn't doing anything too fancy because he has little rat legs and has to run really, really fast to keep up speed. Uh,
Huh.
but he kind of turns to Miles like, "This is normal."
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes, it's a lot to explain. Name's Miles, by the way.
Uh, Fleck.
It occurs to me I could have used lucky. Nah, whatever. This is funnier. Um, I would think eventually the logs do come to a stop, probably hitting like a fence and throwing both of them over into a fenced in area. And if you want to choose what that is,
Oh boy. Why don't we go with bog? There's a bog in Toontown today.
perfect.
We don't know when the bog showed up, but it sure is here now.
So there's just a bog into. We just land inside of a bog. Uh, so yeah, sorry about that. I'm new here. Just transferred. Ugh. Ugh. And Miles is getting up and like cleaning himself. Actually, he uses prestidigitation and cleans himself alongside Fleck.
Thank goodness for that, because Fleck was just finished climbing out of a little Fleck-shaped hole and was looking remarkably like a mud monster.
Perfect. Uh,
He's kind of just like, thank you, but oh, why is this normal?
oh, well, my family comes from the Murphys. We were cursed a long while ago, so basically every male member of our family has extremely bad luck. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong.
Fleck kind of stops for a moment. Like, little gears appear above his head. They're a little bit squeaky and grind to a halt every now and then, but after a moment the gears turn into a light bulb, and he kind of just slowly turns to Miles like, so what's the worst thing that can go wrong in a bog?
What is the worst thing that can go wrong in a bog?
Hmm. Let's see. I'm between crocodiles and quicksand.
You want to roll for it?
Or we can do both.
We could do both. Because that would be the worst thing.
Let's do both.
Yeah, suddenly you notice that Miles is slowly sinking slower. Slowly. Fletch is probably having, or Fleck, fuck. Fleck is probably having a much easier time with the quicksand at the very least, just because things that don't weigh as much don't sink as fast.
Yeah, but unfortunately for them, there's Miles is not so small.
And unfortunately for them, uh, they can immediately see like a couple of eyes pop out of the water near the bog, and just begin swimming towards them.
Oh boy.
uh, hey, can you climb on?
Um, sure.
And
Uh, and Fleck climbs on.
fantastic. And Milo, or fuck me, Miles. There's no Milo here. Is going to cast jump.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's say. Hopefully this works, and he's gonna try to jump out of the quicksand. What would this be?
Um,
Because he is a little sunken in.
I guess difficult terrain.
I guess that is
However that
fair.
works with jump.
Well, your jump distance just gets tripled. So your jump distance, my movement's actually, oh fuck, halfling movement is 25. I forgot about
Oh,
that. So it's 50, 75, halved. That's like what? 35. We'll go with 35.
yeah,
He's
we'll
just
go with 35,
yeah.
40 in that area.
There you go. He
It's enough
jumps
to get you out of the quicksand, but it
perfect.
probably puts you right next to the crocodiles.
Perfect. Now, I don't know about you, but as a Floridian, crocodiles swim plenty fast. Miles is still running, or Miles is still jumping across because now he's jumping at 35 feet into the air and then back down. But the crocodiles can probably keep up.
Probably. So Fleck is gonna reach into his hammer space. And okay, he doesn't fail. So he pulls out his lunch that Mariz so lovingly made earlier,
Oh
and
no!
he throws it in the opposite direction. uh, so I should probably make a strength check to see how far it goes, huh?
Yeah, actually, just a strength, or if you want to roll probably like athletics, if that's better for you.
Oh no, they're all bad.
Oh, fantastic! Never mind then. Go ahead.
11.
An 11 is
An
decent.
11.
You probably throw it and it lands on them. It slows them down enough.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Mariz makes good food, so it's fine. They have a snack now. That is not children.
Exactly. And Miles has now jumped over the fence that contains this bog. I love the Toontown bog. What a nice scenic place. Um, and now they're at the street, at one of the streets of Toontown. Oh boy, what happens next?
Hmm.
Here's what I'll say. What
Do you
happens
think
next? Uh,
what's that?
Here's the idea. As Miles is jumping, he kind of knocks into a tree, because they are pretty high up into the air, and out of the corner of that tree, or out of one of the branches, a beehive falls out.
Oh no, not the bees.
Not the bees. And immediately falls not next to them, but like 10 feet away from them. Uh, Next to the sidewalk, where Miles is standing now, with Fleck on top of him. Ah, this happens far too often, and he's just gonna cast Longstrider on himself.
Oh boy.
So now he can at least run 35 feet of movement at a time, but now we're running away from bees.
We are indeed running away from bees. So Black is would a swarm of bees count as one creature?
They're like a swarm of bees. Yeah, you can count them as one creature.
Okay, yeah. Fleck is going to cast command.
Okay.
Yeah. So, uh basically is just gonna say stop and let's
What are bee stats? What does the bee have to roll?
they have to do a wisdom saving throw.
I don't think
I
bees are
don't
pretty
think bees are
wise.
very wise.
Yeah, we'll subtract like 4.
They are a swarm of bees.
Yeah, that's a 5.
That does that that does indeed make command work.
Perfect. Uh,
So,
you you want to know? You want to know what I think happens?
go on.
You cast command, and the bee queen walks in front of the swarm and just like, nope, stop, and then they just keep running.
Okay, Black's kind of just like Black's having a day. You know, he's not used to this level of chaos. Kind of just
Sorry, hey, yeah, an average day with me is probably a lot. And you see Miles just steps out of the way of like a fallen light pole. Divination wizard. We can sort of predict when some things are happening.
That does seem useful.
Yes. It usually comes in handy. And with the bees gone, Miles continues to walk forward, just towards the school. This is gonna be a walking day to school.
does does Miles know where school is?
Uh, Miles would, specifically because before even moving to Toontown, he tried to look up as much information as he could, including like a bunch of stuff that would not normally be looked up by a child. You gotta know this
Okay.
when your curse can affect literally a bunch of stuff.
Okay, cool. Because Fleck does not know where school is in relation to himself right now. He's kind he's kind of just like, so how long have you been cursed?
Oh, my entire life. It's a funny thing. Most when I was still in my mom, you can usually tell when a Murphy family member is having a boy just because it gets a lot more chaotic around the house.
Define chaotic.
Roof falling apart, carriage wheels going on different and multiple, like completely falling in, like the carriage just falls and the wheels just go into completely different directions. Um, oh Lord, I have so many, I have had so many things. Light posts falling on top of you, trees suddenly getting cut. Um, it's usually not this chaotic outside of like, we moved into Inkwell because it was just as chaotic sometimes with our curse, but I don't know if the curse has made it worse or better.
I don't usually have to fight crocodiles to get to school. Um,
Sorry.
I no, you're fine. Just a little more hectic than usual. I mean, some I thought I knew chaotic because of my siblings' pranks, but those did not involve crocodiles. So,
Usually I can get out of most situations pretty fine with as long as I'm not really stressed out. My divination ability usually tells me when, and he moves out of the way of like a tire, like a flaming tire that's just coming at him, um, from behind before
Fleck
anything
is
actually hits me.
Fleck is staring at the flaming tire. He hopes that's not the bus. Anyways, things have gotten rather peaceful, so
Yeah.
what would they have to roll to not fall down a manhole?
Oh, just a standard perception check. They are just talking.
They are just talking. So,
I'm gonna give him disadvantage on this because he's not paying attention to where he's going like he usually would.
yeah, he's focused on things coming at him, not him coming at things.
That is supposed to be a +3, not a -3.
Ah.
That is a nat 20 though. But guess what? I'm using my lucky feet to re-roll it because I like chaos.
Chaos is good.
I
Oh my god.
I got a second nat 20. Excuse me? You're supposed to be the unluckiest thing alive. What the fuck?
Okay, let's see how Fleck does. Okay, 14, and I'm gonna give him disadvantage because he's a little frazzled right now. Okay, so God does not want us to fall down a manhole today.
This is like this is okay. Yeah. No, God does not want us to fall down a manhole. You want to know what happens? If you don't mind me,
But
uh, they almost fall into it, and then a worker just like calls out like, "Hey, kid, look where you're going." and it's just the manhole is right in front of them, and they just step around it. Again, yeah, Curse can do a lot of things.
Yeah, why don't we make an athletics check?
Yes. God, yes. Okay, I did give him proficiency in athletics, so at least well, no, he this boy doesn't do any. That's we used all of our.
So,
I used to luck point on that. I used to luck point.
I know. Well, so what happens is that a stray cat notices Fleck, and he is a rat, and some things are just nature. So uh, the cat charges at Milo and
Miles.
at Miles. The cat
Yep.
charges at Miles and starts clawing at him, climbing up to try and get to the rat. And why don't we make another check because we're very close to the manhole?
You are 100% right. This is a. I feel like this would probably be dexterity, if anything. Maybe a dexterity
Yeah.
saving throw?
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Fleck is currently on top of him. We should probably have disadvantage to the cat, shouldn't we?
Yeah. We are being assaulted by a cat.
Well, I'm
Oh
going
my
with a
god.
12, but I'm angry at Dice Parser because when we want to roll bad, it rolls good. This is supposed to
Well,
be my
too bad.
lucky character.
Too bad, Dice Parser. We're going in that
Yeah,
manhole.
we're going in the fucking manhole whether you want it or not.
So Miles probably loses balance from the cat.
Mhm.
Fleck manages to cling on to Miles because the opposing thing is facing off against a cat by himself. So it's manhole time.
So they fall down the manhole. Thank God I didn't roll any lower. I would have hit himself in the head. Um. All right, so they fall into dirty, dirty, stinky water.
They sure do.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And
Again.
I'm willing to bet that the water currently has a current.
Oh yeah,
Currently.
yeah, it surely does.
So time to ride the stinky lazy river.
Uh, Here's what Miles is gonna do. Um, Actually, I'm just trying to think what can he fucking do?
Does he have a rope in his bag?
He does have a rope, and he does in fact have a thing. How big is the sewer? We can say it's a pretty big sewer, right? The Toontown sewer is
Yeah.
probably ginormous. Um,
It's as it's as big as is needed for crocodiles to live in it. I don't mean to
Fantastic.
bring up crocodiles yet again, but it is a trope, and
No,
so
it is
they
perfect.
have to
Don't.
make accommodations.
No, it is perfect. Here's what I'll say.
It's fine.
Uh,
These crocodiles are civil. They're kind
as
of just
Yeah, as he falls, he does take out a rope from his backpack and throws it up into the air, and you see he is casting rope trick. Uh,
ooh.
and now there is a 60-foot length of rope that is just hanging from the air. And I'm just gonna post rope trick in the chat so you can see what it does. One moment. Come on. Who? There it is. And there's now a rope that they can hold on to. If you want to roll, probably a dexterity or athletics, just to hold on to the
I'll
rope.
do athletics because that's funnier if it's bad.
These kids cannot
That was
hold
a
on to
2.
rope. Yeah, Miles tries to hold on, but he's still falling, and he actually just gets rope burn, and it starts blowing on his hands.
Oh no.
It's fine. He just takes 1 damage. He'll be fine. Um,
Like, as if by instinct, does lay on hands for exactly 1 HP.
oh,
But in
fantastic.
doing that, he lets go of the rope, so.
Perfect. Miles, once they fall into the water, Miles still holds onto it, so at least they're holding onto something as the water is dragging them. This is not unusual. Let me check something.
In the distance, you hear, "Hey, Janice, there's kids in the sewers again."
The crocodile. Oh, that's one of my 2nd level spell slots gone. Let's see. Miles is you know how there's usually like a little side thing on the side of sewers, like that people can actually stand
Yeah.
on. Miles is gonna grab you and toss you.
Okay, I am tossed.
Yeah, I'll roll it's a dex or strength. Actually, I'll roll.
Whichever is funnier.
All right, perfect. +0, just a d20. That sure is a 15. You get tossed. I'm guessing you land. It's not a very hard toss. We're right next to the thingy. And Miles then casts Misty Step to land on there.
How?
They're still
Where
there.
does the Misty Step, drop him off?
Probably next to Fleck.
All right.
Yeah, just right next to him.
The rat remains uncrushed today.
I was thinking about just dropping him on top of you. You know what? No, he drops it on top of you. Fuck it. This is funnier.
Okay. Well, how much damage do you think that would be?
Fleck is very tiny. He's also a halfling. Just roll a d6.
2
2
damage.
damage. Perfect. I'm sorry.
You land on his tail.
Oh no. I am so sorry.
Fleck's just like, no, it's okay. It's okay. And he grabs his tail and heals it for another 2 damage. So, look, perfectly fine.
uh Miles is
But,
yeah, Miles is also going to cast enhance ability and give himself both strength so that way at least he has advantage on strength checks.
okay. Fleck is busy looking around the sewers like, do you know where school is?
Yep, and Miles casts Green Flame Blade to bring in some light because I forgot I did not give this boy the light cantrip. Um, just like a torch. He just holds it like a torch and begins walking.
Fleck is following after him because he does not want to be stuck in the sewers.
Yep.
He made a promise to his sibling to get to class, so that's what he's gonna do.
Don't worry, we still got 30 minutes, and the school should technically only be 20 minutes from like this exact point. So,
Barring anything else from going wrong?
barring anything else from going wrong, yes. Although that's why the 10 minutes, extra 10 minutes are for.
Cool.
Miles is also going to cast Prestidigitation again to clean himself up as well as you.
Nice.
Don't want
Fleck
to be.
is
Don't want to be stinky.
very, yeah. Fleck is pretty glad for that, because, I mean, he's used to being stinky, but, his siblings don't really like it when he is, so he's grateful.
You see, roll an insight check.
Alright, let's see.
As they just begin to walk.
That's a straight D20. 15.
15. it's not. It's easy to tell that Miles is just like a slightly bit embarrassed that this is happening, probably happening again. He's very used to this, but like he was hoping that this wouldn't be happening again, basically.
Aw. Fleck does feel a little bit bad for freaking out now, so he kind of tugs on Miles' pants. Like, hey, it's fine. There's lots of chaos in Toontown like this. Maybe just not all at once, but it happens.
Yeah, I've learned to live with it. Even my father has it, so you don't want us around the same area. Our house is already chaotic as it is.
I'm guessing you have to do a lot of proofing.
Yeah. I wake up early in the morning. Make sure you packed all of the essential materials you're gonna need: grappling hook, rope, water canteen, map of Toontown and Toontown sewers, and he pulls it out. Um, this kid is carrying a lot more than just books in his backpack.
Oh boy. Fleck is just. They make maps of the sewers?
And how do you think people who work like the sewers get around?
I, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, they're getting close to an exit to sewers. Luckily, they did not encounter the crocodiles again.
It's fine. In the distance, you can hear, "Hey Janice, looks like they're getting out." Finally!
I'd like to imagine that at one point, Miles does make a turn into the sewers, and you see like a couple of teenage crocodile tunes that are just like some rebel kids, just like and Miles is just like, you know what, we can take a different route.
Fleck kind of just nods like, agreed.
And eventually they just reach a ladder with a manhole.
Alright. So, fun fact about manholes.
Oh yes,
They are pretty heavy. So,
yes they are.
why don't we both make strength checks?
Yes. This is with a +0. Luckily, I do technically have advantages. I have both strength. So I'll just roll. That's a 10. Roll again. That's a 13.
That's a 5.
Yeah, that sure is a 5. I will use a luck point and re-roll again. That's a 7. I have to use a new roll.
Oh boy.
Uh, what if I just used another luck point? This boy's running out of luck real quick. It's another 7.
Oh man.
What is dice parser today?
It Dice Parser says you wanted the sewer so bad you get the sewer.
Uh,
Alright. Well, plan 2. Fleck is now banging on the manhole and shouting.
that is a plan. Oh, let's see. What can Miles do? He is a wizard. He's meant to have stuff like this. Um. Oh Lord, I don't have anything for carrying heavy things.
Yeah, I was looking at Fleck spells too.
I'm just like, this is what I wish I'd taken catapult. Catapult would have been perfect for this. Just catapult it straight into the air. Oh, yep. No, I'm banging too.
We are both banging on this.
Let's roll a. You want to roll a 1d2, see if anybody hears,
Yeah.
and a 2 and somebody hears. Oh,
Yay, someone
thank
heard.
God. So these two actually get lucky for once as a worker. Just kind of like what are they called? Crowbars?
Yeah.
And uses it to lift up the manhole. Just like, what are you two doing down there? And Miles just kind of like, long story.
Fleck kind of just shrugs like, got lost?
And you see, once they come out of the manhole, they are about, I'd say, two corner streets away from the school.
Cool.
Let's see.
So Fleck is excited because he finally recognizes this area and, and smiles like, as long as nothing else goes wrong. And you know how Toon rolls work.
Exactly. And you know what I think happens?
What do you think happened?
There's a small store that's right next to the Toontown School, like slightly further away, closer to where Miles and Fleck are, and it is holding a sale, a very enticing sale. And the moment that Miles and Fleck just begin walking towards the school, there's suddenly a very large crowd just pumping into the store, and it is covering most of the street.
Oh boy. So, should we make a check to see if we get swept into the store?
Yes.
That's probably athletics again, right? Or acrobatics, whichever one is worse.
I love this rule of whichever one's worse. You know what? I'll use one of my portents and make that a what the fuck were my portents? Was it 11, 14? I think. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's already 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna use one of my portents. We both get an 11, and we both get dragged into the store.
Oh boy.
What kind of store is this?
It is. How about a clothing store?
Clothing store.
Alright. And Fleck is gonna make a quick. Uh. Gonna make a quick, subtle roll here. Because old habits die hard. Cool. Why don't you do a perception?
Sure. That's a 15.
That is a 15. So it happens so fast that you're not entirely sure if you see it. But you Miles can swear that as he turned his head, he saw Fleck stuffing something into his hammer space.
Okay, he's not gonna ask. He barely understands how tunes works, to be honest. Um, okay. Okay, let's see. They are now in a store, a clothing store particularly. You know what? Miles is going to try and make his way towards one of those roundabout like hangars that like you like as a kid you would get into the center of it so that way you can escape like escape to a different universe in a kid sense.
Yeah, I absolutely know that one.
Exactly. And just kind of just hides into there and just like, oh, goodness gracious, we were almost there. Okay, that's fine.
Fleck, he's got those turning gears again. He's thinking. And then the light bulb happens. But this time, it's not a yellow light bulb, it's a red light bulb. It's a little bit ominous, but he's just like, I have an idea.
Oh,
And he casts heroism on one random customer.
oh, what does that
And
do?
so it's a creature he touches imbued with bravery. Until the spell ends, the creature is immune to being frightened and gains temporary hit points. So seeing as they're now imbued with a whole lot of bravery, that person's gonna go and get that sail. So in the distance, like, you see Fleck kind of just, his hand starts glowing a bit and he reaches out, and then a few seconds later you hear battle cry and the
Oh,
inexplicable clashing of weapons.
oh, they're literally fighting each other. Um, you know that
And
that works.
yeah, Fleck just smiles like, now we have a distraction so we can get out.
Um, on the way, just so Miles can at least stop some of the happening. He's gonna cast Mage Hand and pull on the fire alarm. And so
Well,
as they leave, the sprinkler system goes off.
there's probably a bunch of people flooding outside too now.
Yeah,
So
that's
you caused a
fine.
second stampede.
At least it's bringing us to the outside. But like Miles,
Yeah.
this is as Miles is getting out, so people are no longer fighting each other for the most part.
Let's see. You can probably say that the wave of people carries them to around where the school is.
Exactly. Oh, they're almost there. Almost.
Yeah, Huck is just taking a quick moment.
Look to the left. Look to the right. Look up. Nothing.
What about looking down?
You're right. And Miles looks down. Do you have any idea, or do you want me to go?
You can go.
Oh, fantastic! Because I had an idea. Miles is standing on top of one of those other sewer grates, and further away in the distance, in a completely different section, is the Toontown like sewage system or sewage center, and it's just says like, hey boss, we're about to have like a huge backup of sewage that's gonna like make some of the sewage lines go. We need to let it go, and the boss just says, yeah, go right ahead, and suddenly Miles and Fleck are thrown way into the air as one of the sewage grates gets filled with water and just explodes upwards.
Oh boy.
So now they're just in the air.
Yeah.
They're above the school though.
Yep. Fleck is holding on to to Miles. Cause he doesn't have Featherfall.
Luckily, Miles does. Miles is going to cast Featherfall on the both of us.
Nice.
Okay. This was definitely not how I was expecting my first day to go, but that's how most my first days have gone in most of the towns I've stayed at, so I should have expected it.
Fleck is, he's pretty poofy right now, actually.
He's
He's
poofy?
you know how when animals get spooked, their hair kind of raises on end.
Oh,
So he's a little bit poopy and clinging onto Miles' vest. Like, that's, it was definitely more exciting than my first day.
I mean, look, and he points towards the bus that is now just arriving. I mean, like I'm guessing, like Mariz can actually see us in the air, just floating slowly downwards. They took a bus to school today. I usually have a lot more fun on my way to anywhere.
Fleck laughs a little bit, like, that is true. I mean, I used to, I never had any bad luck curse, but I did get into lots of trouble, and sometimes I do kind of miss it.
Everybody's allowed to be a little, like everybody's allowed to have like, what's the word? Everybody's allowed to be a little mischievous from time to time. And the universe usually decides that it's my time all the time. But yes,
Fleck laughs a little bit and gives Miles a smile, like, you're right. Though it was actually pretty fun getting to run around and cause a little chaos again.
I my family gets kicked out of a lot of places just because curse. I believe Toontown's the first one where like we've been here for about a month now and nobody's told us anything.
I mean, that bog didn't exist on Friday, so
I keep forgetting that Toons are so much used to chaos is the best way to describe it.
yeah. Fleck nods a bit, like, yeah. I mean, I kind of forgot you weren't a Toon for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm full flesh and blood here, and you see, uh, he does have a couple of scrapes throughout the whole day. It's just kind of part of the course with and it doesn't take long to notice that he does have like scars like in a lot of places, but they're like they mostly heal over. Like they're tiny little ones. The stuff that he picks up throughout the ages, because it like you can't live a life like this and be a real kind and not have a couple of like tiny scrits and crepes.
Well, Fleck has one spell slot left today, and sure it's a little bit early to use up all of them, but he kind of just gives Miles a little pat and sneakily casts Cure Wounds.
Oh, thank you. He's at full health.
Yes,
Yeah,
but you
he's
said he
yeah.
has Scrape, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They heal over, and they usually because magic like this doesn't leave scars. Um, he doesn't gain any new ones from today at the very least. But yeah,
Mm,
eventually they land right at the steps of the school.
yeah. And okay, Marzi said BRB, so but
You
yeah.
land in front of the school, and waiting there is a little fae, tap tap tapping their foot, surrounded by a small group of other children. And as they spot you, they absolutely perk up. They do look relieved, but also they turn to the kids like, "Hey, fork it over. They made it."
Fleck is running up to Mariz like, oh, did you do any bets? What did you
Yeah.
get?
Oh yeah, check it out. And they kneel down to Fleck and show that they have around, what's a fair number? Because this is just an FPS.
Like
You're
five.
like,
It can probably just be food or something.
oh yeah, and it's
It
like
could
they
be
have
on
like
school grounds.
they hold out, and then their hands are full of like candy bars and sweets, and then like jawbreakers and stuff.
Oh, there's a full size bar in there.
Hell yeah, there is.
Oh, absolutely. Fleck is very excited about that because he's like, great! Because I might have accidentally given your lunch to some crocodiles.
He gets Riz to pause. And they squint.
Sorry.
They're like, we did win a lot of candy with this. But you're on thin fucking ice. We'll split mine.
Fleck, uh, he kind of does little grabby hands to hug Maris.
Yeah, Maris will put the candy away and give like a hug and like look at Miles and say, "What about you, new kid? You sitting anywhere during lunch?"
I mean, this is my first day, so, uh, no.
You can hang out with us.
Fleck
Thanks.
has a big grin, like, oh, you'll love him. He's very fun, and he gets into a lot of chaos and trouble like you do.
Oh, trouble, you say?
It literally follows me everywhere, and you see Miles steps out of the way of the school, like the school L falls over.
Oh my god.
And he just steps out of the way like nonchalantly.
Oh
And
god, I
Fleck-
almost want Mariz to make an Arcana just to see if they can, because they're innately attached to magic. I want to see if they can feel that.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's just a straight 20.
That's a 16. I'll give it to
Yeah.
you. You know the Miles is cursed.
Yeah, Mariz can feel this as someone who is innately, like, intimately, like aware of magic, and they have like the broadest grin on their faces, like, oh yeah, we are gonna get along fine.
also, and Fleck kind of just grins like, "I knew it." And then he pulls out a scarf from his hammer space, like, "Oh, also I picked this up for you."
Did you steal a scarf from Mariz from the
And that's where it ends.
Yeah, that's where it ends. Oh, perfect. Oh, lovely. This was amazing. Thank you.
Oh god, that's grand. I'm so glad I made it on time.
Thank you for being
Same.
here. Thank you for being here for the cameo Marzi with and
Absolutely.
everything. This was great.
It was
Um,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thank you for thank you Fletch for letting me use this boy.
Thank you for letting me play with the boy. And thank you, dear viewers, for listening.
Good shit. Hell yeah.
And with that, I am going to end the recording